Hare Krishna. So in the previous Shloka, that is Shloka number 26, Krishna spoke about devotional service, unfailing devotional service. But then the destination that he was speaking about is Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate, comes to the level of Brahman. Now someone might have a question that, no, I want to attain Krishna. Why is Krishna saying that you will attain Brahman? So now Krishna is clarifying this and talking about his relation with Brahman. So let's see that in Shloka number 27, the last Shloka of this chapter, chapter 14. Brahmano hi prathishthaham amritasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya ekantikasya cha. So now Krishna is saying, Brahmano hi prathishthaham. I am the basis of impersonal Brahman, the Brahma Jyoti. And what are the characteristics of this impersonal Brahman? First, Amritasya, it is immortal. Avyayasya, it is imperishable. And it is also Shashvatasya, it is eternal. And Dharmasya, and the constitutional position of it is, and is the constitutional position of Sukhasya Kantikasya cha, ultimate happiness. So here Krishna has very nicely described and he has set forth that how he is the source of Brahman. Now we have multiple times discussed this concept. But there are three levels of realizing the ultimate or the absolute truth. That is Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. Brahman is the all-pervading feature of the Lord. That is the effulgence coming from the body of the Lord, which is called as Brahma Jyoti. Paramatma is the localized feature of the Lord in the heart of every living entity. And Bhagavan is that absolute personality who has various qualities and who is very, very merciful, and he reciprocates with all his devotees doing various pastimes. Now, in this way, we understand that there are three levels of realization: Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Now, Brahman realization is the basic realization that a person gets or the person should get to start progressing on the path of transcendence. So this is a very important point to note. So first comes Brahman realization, and then the person moves to Paramatma realization, and then finally Bhagavan realization. Now it need not be always gradual, but the person who is stuck on the Brahman realization, he has to go up. But one can directly jump to the Bhagavan realization by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by following the Navavida Bhakti. Now here it is very nicely said that when a living entity conditioned by this material nature begins the cultivation of spiritual knowledge, he elevates himself from the position of material existence and gradually rises up to the Brahman conception of Supreme. And here it is said that if he wants, he can continue to stay in Brahman position and then gradually rise up to Paramatma realization and then to realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it all depends on the living entity. If he wants to get stuck at Brahman realization, who can help? Who can save? But if he wants to progress, yes, he can. An example that is given is the four Kumaras. They were the ones who were into impersonal Brahman. But then, when they got the opportunity, they elevated themselves to the platform of Bhagavan realization. So here it's very clear, from this particular shloka, that how Krishna is the source of Brahman and he is also the source of Paramatma. So both Brahman and Paramatma are contained within Krishna. So Krishna is that Supreme Personality of Godhead, and subordinate to him are Paramatma and Brahman. So this is very clear, from this particular shloka. Now here it is said that in spite of being raised to Brahman platform, there is a chance of falling down if one is not engaged in devotional service to the Lord. This is something which is very, very critical. A person, he slogs like anything to come to Brahman realization, and now the fact is he cannot stay there for a long time. Why? Because he is not attached now to the lotus feet of Krishna. The safest position is to be at the lotus feet of Krishna, to attain Krishna. If that is not done, then even if we reach spiritual realm, that is Brahman, it's high probability that the person will fall down from there. And again, he'll glide down to this material world, will be affected by the three modes of material nature. So here it is said that the living entity, although Brahman by nature, has the desire to lord it over material world. And due to this, he falls down in his constitutional position, and a living entity is above the three modes of material nature, but association with material nature entangles him in the different modes of material nature. So this is what is the point. We are pure, we are free from three modes of material nature, but as soon as we come in touch with the matter, with this body and various other things, other matter of this world, what happens? At that point, the person is entangled in the three modes of material nature. And here it is said that due to the association of these three modes, his desire to dominate the material world is there. Only because of these three modes of material nature, we have that strong tendency to do sense gratification. But then there is a solution. See, finally the solution is given in Bhagavad Gita, so that we all can advance and go back home, back to Godhead. So what is the solution? Here it is said. By engagement in devotional service in full Krishna consciousness, he is immediately situated in the transcendental position, and his unlawful desire to control material nature is removed. So one has to engage in full devotional service. So one can implement the Navavidha Bhakti in day-to-day life, starting from Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. So we can start with Shravanam. We have to hear the Vani of pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada. And we have to read about Krishna, instructions of Krishna that is given in Bhagavad Gita, and about Krishna which is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. And when we are chanting, when we are reading, when we are hearing, when we are preaching, when we are glorifying Krishna, we have to do it with lot of quality and with lot of devotion. So when we do that, then yes, we'll be elevating our consciousness and we'll be going up. Because our consciousness now is very low. We are stuck at a rock bottom place of doing sense gratification. And when we do devotional service, our consciousness will go higher and higher and higher. And finally, we'll come to that stage of surpassing the three modes of material nature. So here it is said that devotional service to the Lord is very simple. So why is it so simple? Before that, one important point is the Navavidha Bhakti for realizing devotional service should be practiced in the association of devotees. See, we cannot do it alone. This is a very important point. We have to do it in the association of fired up devotees. And gradually by such association, by the influence of the spiritual master, one's material desire to dominate is removed and one becomes firmly situated in Lord's transcendental service. Very important point. By the association of devotees and influence of the spiritual master, our tendency of doing sense gratification will come down. And with time it will be vanquished completely. And that means we'll transcend the three modes of material nature. So devotional service to the Lord is very simple. And here, there's a long list that is there. So let's try to go through this list so that we can make out at which anga of devotional service I'm missing out in my day-to-day life. So these are some of the things which we have to do every single day. First, one should always engage in the service of the Lord. How? First, should eat the remnants of foodstuffs offered to the deity. So whatever we cook, the sattvic food without onion, garlic, mushrooms, that has to be offered to the Lord. Second, smell the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord. So every day we can offer flowers at the lotus feet of the Lord. We can offer tulsi leaves at the lotus feet of the Lord. And then at the end of the day we can take that as prasad and smell. And we can also honor tulsi leaves. Third, see the places where the Lord had his transcendental pastimes. We should take out time from our busy schedule. And we have to go to Vrindavan. We have to go to Mayapur, Jagannath Puri. These wonderful transcendental places where Lord has done various transcendental pastimes. In Vrindavan, Lord has rolled in the dust of Vrindavan. So when we go there and when we perform devotional service, even for some time, it will be like a booster injection for many, many months together. So one has to go to such places. Next, read the different activities of the Lord. So we have to hear and we have to read about the pastimes of the Lord. And then his reciprocation of love with his devotees. So when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we will see that how Lord reciprocates with his devotees. And that will actually move our heart. That will move us towards Krishna. Because we will see the merciful nature and the loving affection of Krishna for all his devotees. And then chant always the transcendental vibration. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And observe fasting days commemorating the appearance and disappearances of the Lord and his devotees. By doing all this, basically fasting on Ekadashis, Janmashtami and other festivals. By following such a process, one becomes completely detached from all material activities. One who can thus situate himself in the Brahma Jyoti or different varieties of Brahman conception is equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in quality. So this is a very nice thing to note, that when we are engaged like this, what will happen? We'll be detached from all the material activities. And that goes on to say that we'll surpass the three modes of material nature, break the cycle of birth and death, and go back home, back to Godhead. So in this way, Krishna started how we are entangled with three modes of material nature, and he ended with the solution to surpass the three modes of material nature. So with this, we have completed the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita titled The Three Modes of Material Nature. So now in the next video, we'll try to summarize the entire chapter and we'll see the flow of all the 27 shlokas. So let's see this in the next video. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.